The Pope and Young Club wants to welcome you as we rally together to ensure our bow hunting opportunities for today and tomorrow. You've come to the podcast that believes in preserving, protecting, and promoting the passion for bow hunting. Join us as we strive to be the voice of today's bow hunter. This is the Pope and Young Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pope and Young Podcast. Jason Roundsville here, joined as always by my co-host Dylan Ray. Oh, Dylan.
What's up, man? You're not in your studio. You're out in the field somewhere, huh?
This is my new studio. You know, we did the last one in the truck, and I kind of like it. So I might stick with this for a while.
Our next one, I might be in a whitetail stand and just whisper the whole time.
We could do that.
Let's do it.
Game. So we've got with us, we have our winner. This is the winner of the what do you take with you in the blind, in your backpack on the mountain? He came up with an answer. We're not going to tell you what it is because we're going to let him tell you when we ask him that question. But we have Blake McPhaul. He is with Axis Archery in Paige, Texas. Blake, how you doing, man?
Oh, pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. This was, we got to meet, a month or so ago at the Boone and Crockett convention. And I think I told that story on the podcast already. And I've had a couple people say, Jay, there's nobody really said that. And so, it didn't have anything to do with the contest. You won the contest fair and square. But just could you, maybe if they heard it in your words, kind of what you said when we first met, it would help clarify.
Yeah, got to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, right?
He's got to get out his piece of paper to read what you told him to say, Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not.
He's got it teleprompted. There
it is. Yeah, I got it scroll over. But no, I was saying, well, we were sitting there at Justin's table, and I wasn't paying that much attention. I was watching all the stuff going on, and I saw you come sit down, heard Justin introduce himself, and I was like, man, that voice sounds familiar. And I was like, what the heck is it? Like, why am I thinking of this? And I turned to my then fiance, Haley, and I was like, why do I recognize his voice? She doesn't listen to podcasts. She's like, I don't know.
Oh, dang it.
Finally, I caught a glimpse of the name tag. I was like, oh, crap, that's the guy that hosts the Pope and Young podcast. And she was like, what? And she was like, she's like, what are you talking about? So I told her, and I was like, yeah, it's the one I listen to in the shop. You always tell me to quit listening to podcasts and listen to you, but whatever. And I turned to her and I was like, oh crap. And she was like, you need to calm down before you talk to him. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're fangirl. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And finally, I composed myself, I guess, and turned over and I introduced myself and everything. And I told him, in all honesty, I was like, I've worked on some ranches in South Texas, done all kinds of stuff, and met a bunch of cool people. But I was like, you know what? I guided Hank Jr. duck hunting and, deer hunting, all that stuff. And I was like, man, honestly, that was cool. But like getting to meet somebody that you hear on a podcast, every week and everything else is like, this is cooler. Like, this is just something else that, it's more related to what I do. So like, this is awesome. I was like, it's 100% cooler in my eyes at least.
I met one person, Jason, and they said, oh, it's Dylan from the podcast. Where's Jason? We don't want you. We want Jason. I'm like, well, thanks. I appreciate it.
I'm like, in my mind, I swear that's what he said, but then it didn't sound right. So I'm like, maybe I did just make it up. I'm not sure. But either way, it made my day. Every time that somebody tells us that, hey, we listen to podcasts, I'm telling you, it makes our day. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody listening right now. Thank you for letting us do what we really love to do. And we have a lot of fun with it. So anyway, that was great. It was good to meet you, get to visit. And so, congratulations on winning the challenge, the What Would You Take challenge.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Dylan, I was almost thinking we start off with that, but I think we better leave people hanging a little bit so that they can hear exactly.
For sure, yeah. Because we have some other big news to drop first.
We do have some big news to drop. We have the winner of the youth hunt contest, and we're going to call them live. Dylan is going to dial them right now, and we're going to dial them live and see if we can get an answer. And unlike last time, I'm not going to announce my cell phone on national,
Yeah, don't do that.
Facebook. Are we ringing?
Can you hear it?
I can't hear it. Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, is this Bucky?
Hello, Bucky.
Yeah.
He can't hear you, Jason.
Okay, well, you do the talking.
Is this Bucky?
Yeah.
Hey, Bucky, this is Dylan from Pope and Young. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. You're about to be doing a lot better, I think, though.
Live on the podcast.
We're live on our Pope and Young podcast right now, and we actually did a giveaway for a Columbia, Jason?
Yeah, a youth blacktail hunt in California.
A youth blacktail hunt in California, and we just drew our winner, and it is your grandson, Jake?
Jake.
No, that's my son.
Your son, Jake.
You've got to be kidding me.
So we're gonna send Jake on a hunt in California, all expenses paid.
No way.
Yes, sir.
When is that?
Oh, Jason, do you have the date? October.
Hey, it's October. We'll get him all the information
next month.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get you all the information that you need, but we just wanted to call and tell you live on the podcast that we're going to send Jake to California to shoot some deer.
Oh, no way. I'll tell you what, this has been the worst year of my life. I mean, aside from like just personal stuff and like getting hurt and I've been off of work and I'll tell you what, I needed a bright spot. So thanks so much, Pope and Young. And, I spread that message to Pope and Young as an official measure. I spent a lot of time, trying to get people involved or get people excited about entering their stuff into records and stuff like that. And actually, I'm going to 2 high schools coming up here in about 2 weeks to talk to them about why we do records, why we measure animals, the process, history of how the records and everything through Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young, how it came about. So,
well, that's absolutely the type of response we wanted to hear from a winner. That's incredible.
I'm just, of all things, and you can talk to Jason, I'm almost speechless. So, but, well, Dylan, thanks so much. I can't wait to hear this on the podcast.
Well, absolutely. Well, thank you. And tell Jake congratulations.
Hey,
I will.
Congratulations, Bucky.
I'll try to give him a call at school right now.
Awesome. Well, Bucky, thank you so much for your support of Pope and Young, and can't wait to see the deer that he puts on the ground in California.
Oh, I'm so excited. And you know what? It's easy to support something when you believe in it. So
absolutely.
Pope and Young and all the people that are involved and my family of measures that I know for the United States. Oh, that's super important. So,
well, thank you so much, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, boys.
All right, bye-bye.
I'll tell you what, Dylan. Sometimes we just had the summer scissor raffle, and we had some winners there, and I didn't recognize them. And when this one came up,
one of our biggest measures.
Make a list, and he is. He measures a lot of stuff. He is one of those guys who is a consummate ambassador for not only Pope and Young, but also Boone and Crockett, and just the whole measuring process and why we do it, and the history behind it. And so, when you see a winner like this, and you look at him, and you know that that's somebody who just bleeds Pope and Young. It's how exciting. I mean, that's neat for me. And I wish you could have heard me, because I have a lot of excitement over it. So it's really a neat deal. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Congratulations to Jake. He's going to go do a blacktail hunt. If you're listening and your youth member did not win this one, I think we have 4 more hunts that we're giving away in April at convention. Every youth member is entered for these hunts, and a youth membership is $10. So if you want to talk about the very best bang for your buck, I mean, you go buy raffle tickets, do whatever, and we appreciate that too. But for $10, you sign up a youth member, and they're in for like 5 or 6 hunts and some other prizes. It is probably the best bang for the buck at PNY. So if you have any youth members out there, get them signed up, because we're going to do more drawings in April.
You know, Jason, not only that, I signed up all of my kids and my nephew. And my kids kind of expected it. They were like, oh, yeah, cool. But my nephew, I took him that package, and I'm like, hey, I just wanted you to know, I signed you up as a Pope and Young member. And he was like, holy cow. Like, dude was blown away. Like, and
cool.
You literally just took, I think he's 10. You took a 10-year-old, and you changed his complete mindset about conservation, because now he feels like he's a part of the conservation efforts. And it was just incredible to watch. I mean, it was really cool to watch and say, hey, dude, like, this membership helps ensure that we continue to have bow hunting rights. And you're now part. And he was just so stoked, and it was so encouraging. So even besides the giveaways, which are awesome, I mean, I would love for one of my kids to win. But even besides those giveaways, you're really at a young age teaching a kid, you know, the importance of being part of something in order to protect it. And so it's vitally important, if you ask me.
Yeah. No, I signed up I've got 2 nieces. One of them is no longer a youth member. The other one she doesn't qualify to be a youth member. The other one, I signed up, and they're both, great hunters. I talked to my brother the other day. I think Aaliyah has had an elk tag in her pocket for like 6 days, and she shot 4 elk. So she's, it's like, you know, I know a lot of people who can't say that, but anyway, they get after it and they go for it, but
just not zebras.
Not her son. Not zebras. No, there will be no zebras. We don't remind her of the zebra. She was not a fan. So anyway, well, hey, that was exciting. So thanks to everybody who jumped on with that. And like I said, we're going to do some more of those in April. So get your youth signed up. All right. Well, Blake, hey, back to you, man. Tell us a little bit about Blake down in Texas. Now, you run an archery shop, own an archery shop?
Own an archery shop. So I actually,
okay.
I was running a ranch kind of north of where I'm from for a little while, and then it ended up we also sell hunts on our family ranch as well. And about the time I was kind of getting settled in at the ranch I was running, my dad got real sick, so I ended up moving back home, kind of take care of him, driving to all his appointments all the time. And I kind of took over selling the hunts on the family ranch. And then as as it went on, and when I thought about it, I was like, man, I don't really want to work. I got used to not working for somebody. Like, I don't really want to work for anybody anymore. And I'd been doing, my own stuff on my bows for years, flesh and arrows, all that stuff. And, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and make some money at it. So I went ahead, did all the process, get the LLC, all that good stuff. And then I guess it was July of 21. I went ahead and did kind of a soft opening, just to kind of be open before bow season came around down here. And, got the word out a little bit, nothing crazy, but, it worked out. And then come January of this year, was when I kind of did a grand opening, 3D shoot, all that stuff. And, turned into, it's kind of just taken off from there. I do a 3D shoot every month from January through August, I think is when I stopped them, because we were getting married in September. But do those once a month, and then it's an outdoor range, so as long as there's daylight, we do a weekly 3D league night, just the standard 25 targets out to 50 yards and stuff. So that's kind of where it is right now. We're going into bow season, and I really, it's the reason I did it where I did it is because there's kind of a hole for bow shops in the area, and if you got to go an hour one way or an hour the other way to get to anything, and it's done exactly what I hoped it would do. It's filling in that gap right there. So everybody, all the locals, as soon as they hear about it, they kind of transition over to me. So it's kind of working out exactly how I planned it. And I don't really know what happened in the last month. I'd like to blame Jason, but ever since you did that shout out on the first podcast, a couple months ago, business is booming. Business is blown up. I don't know if it's just coming around bow season again, or if you want to take credit for it. I'm happy to give it to you.
Well,
you don't want people coming that Jason sent. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Some of my buddies are tightwads, man. They'd be like, "You got any barrels back there?" So,
nobody said it out loud, but the timing works out, so I'll give it to you.
All right. Well, man, that's great, and it's amazing to me when you talk about longtime bow hunters, and especially some of our members, some of our Pope and Young folks. The connection that they have with their local bow shop is something else. Like, I mean, there's guys who that's what brought them up. Like they're archery guys because of the community of that local bow shop.
Yeah.
And so,
exactly.
especially with what you're doing with the shoots all the time, I mean, that's exciting. It's getting people out, getting them going, getting them excited about it, and making them better in the field. Because all bow hunters are not created equal, and it's holy smokes, man! You get to a hunting camp, and all of a sudden you find out that there's a pretty wide range.
I feel like you're directly talking about me right now.
No comment. So,
okay.
I've never, Dylan, I've only seen you shoot one time, and
we're not getting started on this. Move on.
I just, I know you're a big trad guy and you practice trad all the time. And when somebody who hadn't shot a trad bow in, I don't know, 35 years, outshot you, that was telling.
And my carpal tunnel dude was horrible that day,
Yeah. Mine apparently wasn't. But, that's okay.
Hey, give credit where credit's due. You was popping some balloons. I'm not gonna argue. You was shooting.
Yeah. Hey, I like to rise to the challenge. Some people, just are better without the competition. Some are better with it.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you what, speaking of the competition, if you're listening, I know our Dylan and I are known for, letting a fork and horn have it.
Yeah, we are.
And I will tell you, I'm not necessarily known as the greatest hunter around my parts, but I'm known as a pretty good killer. And this weekend, I was in a ground blind, and I had a 5-point bull at 33 yards. Absolutely dead to rights. And I passed him.
You're lucky I wasn't there.
Get a bigger one. Yeah, it's I've been passing cows this year. Every weekend I'm out there, and I don't mind passing cows, and I'll pass spikes, but I don't know. This might be the first branch bull, like decent branch bull I've passed. And so for me, all right, Chuck Adams, if you're listening, Alan Bolin, I'm listening. It's sinking in slowly but surely. If you want to shoot the big ones, you got to let the little ones go. Well, I'll tell you what, even a raghorn 5-point bull elk doesn't look that little at 30 yards.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I actually let two pretty good bears walk in Idaho too, and I was kind of shocked myself, and I was like, man, I should have let them walk. And then I ended up shooting one and never found it. So that's how it goes. Should have shot the first night, I guess.
I'm excited. I'm like, okay, there's an opportunity. There's some elk around. But I'll tell you what, it's a little bit nervous for me because I'm not a guy who likes tag soup. And that one time we had Alan on, and he was talking about eating like doll sheep tags and snow sheep tags. I can't imagine that.
And passing up.
Legal
like
ram.
odd a dozen legal rams just looking for a world-class ram. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. So I don't think those guys have anything to fear about me jumping into the world record mix, unless it happens like it did for Chuck on his Sitka world record, where it was the first animal he saw. Now, if the first elk I see is a world record, then I have a chance at maybe doing that. But anyway, that was interesting. I'm okay with it. I think I've made peace with it. But if I get out next weekend and I'm not able to connect on something, I'm probably going to be rethinking that decision, because I look at how many years I've been doing this, and the part that I have a hard time getting out of my head, and Blake, will have to get you in on this too, is for me, I look at how many years and years I would have given anything to have a chance at a branch bull. And then now here I am and I pass it, and so I have this dichotomy in my head of, gee, am I progressing to where maybe I have some potential, maybe as a trophy hunter?
I think you're getting old. When people get old, they like to watch them more.
He just didn't want to carry it out.
Exactly.
Oh no, we could have got the quad to this one.
The older my dad gets, the more deer I watch him just video or take pictures of and walk by. The older he gets, I'm like, Dad, just thinking 140 inch. He's like, yeah, man, but it made great pictures. And I'm like, dude, you're getting old.
Yeah, I don't know that's it. Yeah, how about you, Blake? Are you a trophy hunter, or are you a put them down guy?
I'd like to say that I've got that self-control, but in the moment, it's real hard to have it sometimes. I'm more of a knock them down when you get the opportunity kind of person myself.
You're in good company.
Yeah. I don't know if I could have let a 5x5. Which, I mean, I've never shot an elk, but I don't know if I could let a 5x5 walk at 30-something yards. I think there'd have been a couple arrows flying.
Yeah, 30. It wouldn't have taken a couple arrows. It was 33 yards. That bull was dead. It's just a matter of which part of the heart that arrow went into.
There you go. Yeah, I can't say I've had opportunity at something like that. So I'm giving myself a little leeway, saying the first one might have got a little excited.
Yeah, and they're big. You get 30 yards from an elk. That's an 800-pound animal. They're big. And I'm not afraid to do the work, because I was another guy that hunts this area. He got one. Mark got one the other day, real nice 6-point, and I quartered that up for him while they were caping it out. And but it's interesting. So you know what? I know you guys are just getting kicked off. We're almost done here on the West, and I'll let you know in another week or so if that was the right move, or if I should have let fly.
Yeah, I hadn't even been whitetail hunting yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
When it's still 100 degrees, homeboy's staying in the house.
Yeah, we're sitting at I think 95 today still, and season starts in like 10 days or something. So I don't know if I'm looking forward to opening morning, but I'm going to be out there anyway. Yeah.
See, for us, like when we start here, it's 104, and you just hunt because that's what you get.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say sitting in a blind in a tree is a little nicer in 90 something than busting butt across the mountainside. So I can't complain too much.
Yeah, and it's funny because when it's hot, a tree stand is better as long as you're not sitting in direct sunlight. But man, those ground blinds are hot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they are. It's amazing how effective they are as tools.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time. I'm like, because I'm a duck hunter. That's probably that's just, I have been my whole life. And so I'm telling some of these big game guys, I was like, it's a good thing we're only hunting elk or antelope, because that same blind next to a pond for ducks, you'd never shoot ducks out of.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but it's amazing how elk just kind of dismiss them. They'll walk by them and just not pay them a lot of attention.
Yes, sir.
So
I was saying you're a big duck hunter. Have you ever been down here to the Gulf Coast and hunted at all, or you just hunted up there mostly?
I have. I hunted out of Port O'Connor.
Okay.
Shot some pintails and redheads down there, and it was funny. I flew into Houston, and we were driving down to the Gulf, and the guy who was driving, guy I worked with, Jeff, and I said, man, it's too bad, because I come from the West where there's scenery everywhere. I mean, mountains and trees and rivers, and I said, oh, it's too bad it's dark. I'd love to see the scenery. And this guy's kind of a gruff guy. Reminds me of Yosemite Sam. And he just kind of looks over and kind of, and I think he thought I was kidding. So anyway, it's dark. We get down there. We hunt ducks for a couple of days. And then on the way back, it's daylight outside. And now I realize why he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and laughed, because there is not a tree, a river, a bush, or a mountain between Houston and Port O'Connor, Texas.
No,
I mean, it is plain Jane. Absolutely no, as far as I'm concerned, no scenery that I could see.
No. Even the people that are down there that should appreciate it, they know that there ain't nothing to look at.
Yeah. So anyway, I realized early on that I had, even though we drove 2-3 hours, whatever it is, in the dark, that I had missed not one thing.
No, you could have slept on the way back and seen the same stuff in the daylight.
Yeah, I may have, in fact.
Well, yeah, no. If you want to get down here and do it again, I've actually I told my buddy that I'd give him a shout out since I was on here, but he runs. He actually works for Delta Waterfowl 84. He's a regional director down here, I think. But he runs an outfitting business for ducks and fishing as well, right there in Port Aransas. So if you ever got to come back down, y'all come down for y'all's Axis hunt, we may have to come down and do that too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Get some duck hunting and some down there. They're going after redfish, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, redfish and trout, and there's some good ones down there for sure.
Now, Jason, maybe this gives us a good opportunity for our back hoop hunt wars, because we can go ducks and deer.
Yeah,
because I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident about our abilities to out hunt them with bows, but I feel confident to outshoot them with ducks.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know that would be fair, because I think with bows, I think they've got a fighting chance with bows. I think it's a coin toss, but for ducks, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that those guys could keep up.
Be hard pressed for sure.
That's kind of the point, Jay. We don't want to lose.
Yeah, you want it to be close. You don't want, they're a great corporate partner, and we don't want to make them look bad.
Well, we think differently.
Fair enough. So yeah, I'll tell you what, there's Texas may not have the scenery, but boy, there's a lot of outdoor adventures that you guys get to do down there.
For sure. There's definitely, I mean, like I said, I've spent a little time out west, not a ton, but I mean, for the money, the license and tags down here, I mean, you get a lot for $68. You got 10 tags or something between various animals, your ducks and all that stuff. So it may not be as pretty, but you definitely got a lot of opportunity if you got a place to do it.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite thing to chase?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have to say Axis, but whitetails, just your good old whitetail hunting and good old mature buck is pretty hard to beat once you start getting in that chess match with him. So
yeah, I have talked to a couple guys because where I was hunting elk, it's a buddy of mine outfits there, and so he lets me come in on the weekends and hunt a little here and there, and it's interesting. You hear a lot of stories about how tough whitetail are, And then, there's been a few instances where we've had these, quote unquote professional whitetail hunters in a tree stand spooking elk because they're reaching for their bow while the elk are looking at them. I'm like, this, to me, that seems like, can you get away with that with the whitetail? Because it seems like you couldn't do that.
I think it just depends so much. I mean, you get some people that pressure them so much that they, it's kind of, in my experience, it's 50-50. Either you're there a lot and they get used to you being there so you can get away with more, or, you're there too much and you push them out. And they kind of just, in my experience, seems kind of depend on the deer. You never really know.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like, that seems elementary. If something's looking at you, you wait. Yeah, don't move. Don't try to grab your bow while it's looking at you. So
that or you're used to being, 20 feet up in a tree stand and then you're on the ground with an elk. It's a whole different ballgame. You can get away with a lot of stuff if you're above them. So
yeah, and see, it was in a tree stand, but it wasn't a 20-footer. It was probably like 12 or 15 or something.
Yeah, and that elk's halfway up there just on the hook.
Yeah, which is high enough because I'm afraid of heights. Like 15 years ago when we started hunting tree stands, I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And so I bought the biggest, widest, like I got a platform you could park a 3/4 ton truck on. I mean, it's like the biggest one, 40 inches by 40 inches or whatever.
Hey, I'm all for that. I'm not scared of heights, but it's a whole lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And so anyway, one of the ones we're using an old one, and so I keep getting stuck in that, and it's like it's got not quite enough room for both of my feet on the platform.
Yeah. Now they try to make these things as light as they can, and you can, like, the seat you can fit one cheek on, and then the other foot, the opposite side foot can be on the platform, and it's like, no, I buy the two-man all the time, just for myself, just because it's so nice to sprawl out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm a fan. If I'm going to be up in a tree or anything over, say 3 foot high, I want it to be as big and bulky and comfortable as possible.
You got those OSHA tree stands.
The what?
The OSHA approved tree stands. You need the rail around them and everything.
Yeah, if you could draw a bow with that rail, I'd say heck yeah. That's the rail kind of gets in the way, but it's I was hunting last year in Wisconsin for whitetails, and they had just put in this new stand. And they're like, oh, they put up a new stand. I'm looking up at this thing, and I'm looking up at this thing, and I'm looking up at this thing. And it was a strap on one of those things, like a seat and a foot thing, strapped to a tree with like one strap, and then like sticks to crawl up there. And it was like 25. It was way the heck up there. I'm like, no. I'm like 6'3", like 260, on a good day. And I'm like, that does not look approved for my size. And then one of the gals that works for us, Heather, happened to be there, and she just scampered up, all 108 pounds of her scampered right up there. And, oh, no, it's good. I'm like, I'm not getting that high up in a tree. Not without a ladder and safety harness, like everything else. So, but yeah, it's amazing. There's a lot of folks, I think, that don't like heights like that, but they get over it to go jump in a tree for whitetails.
For sure. Yeah. It's kind of it's a risk versus reward thing, I guess.
Yeah. Are you guys mostly tree stands then?
We're kind of 50-50 for when we're selling our hunts and stuff. We keep them in pop-up blinds for the most part, or something like that, just as a liability type thing. We don't have a ton of trees you can get that high in, but for personal setups, I'm normally ladder blind or 16-foot tripod, something like that.
Okay.
Try and get a little higher on them seems to help a lot, especially with sync control too. I mean, you're just a little further away.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was it? Jim Willems, very accomplished hunter. He uses tripods for antelope.
Yeah, just right out in the open.
Really?
And I'm like, I don't know how. He's told me that, and like I've known Jim for 4.5 years now, and he's never, that I've been aware of, lied to me about anything. And not that he would lie to me about that, but it's like it just seems so foreign to me that you could be out in the middle of the flat, wide open, like literally sitting 12 feet up in the air, and then they don't see you or notice you sitting there because you're just a little bit up. That just blows my mind.
Maybe Jim's just a really good liar.
I don't know. No, I mean, you see the stuff he kills, dude. They get big stuff everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I guess that's just kind of knowing your prey. I mean, you think about it. I mean, how often the antelope have to look up for predators? You don't have to get real high, and you're somewhere they never think to look.
See, and I get that when they're up close, but how about when they're half a mile out? Because half a mile out,
I don't know about all that. Yeah,
you look like you're just sitting right. I don't know. It's interesting.
I'd do some more research on that.
Jim, I last year I sent Jim a picture. No, maybe it was last year. I sent Jim a picture. And I said, "Hey, dude, I just shot one. It was a 130-inch deer. I was proud of it." And he said, "Oh man, dude, me too," and sent me a picture of like 190. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Thanks, Jim."
Yeah, you don't want to get in the texting wars with Jim because it sucks because you'll lose.
Yeah, 100% all the time.
Yeah, you cannot win. Yeah,
all the time.
He sent me a picture of the antelope buck his brother got right before.
Oh my gosh,
and I'm
huge!
Like, dude, here's a Boone and Crockett caliber, pronghorn. And I went out and I shot the biggest pronghorn that I saw in that entire hunt, and I still think it's going to be 1 inch short of book, which seems to be where every pronghorn I shoot in my life falls. So,
seems like somebody who could, bump that up a little bit.
And it's funny because I was talking to one guy and he says, "Well, gee, the minimum used to be 65 on pronghorn," and I'm like, "Just by luck."
Yeah.
So, but well, Blake, what kind of stuff you got coming up this fall? Now, you just had an exciting, I guess, is it fall now? Is it, I guess, late summer, early fall? Because I know you just
summer here.
Yeah, so you just got married last week. We're on your honeymoon. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, I think it may have come up, and we even may have mentioned, what in the heck are you doing getting married during hunting season?
Well, so that was it. It sounds bad, but I think it's going to work out. She's looking at me right now, but
oh no, be careful.
Well, I worked it out.
Why don't you bring her over? Maybe this is a group question. Come on over.
Let me get her real quick. She just walked back outside.
Okay.
Haley, come here. You're wanted on the podcast.
Jason, you're going to get him in trouble, boy.
Oh, I'm going to get him in trouble. I don't know. It worked out pretty good for Lee.
Here,
that's
take
true.
Him here, bud.
Yeah.
You can hear him. Left. Got it in. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Hello, Haley. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Congratulations on your recent marriage.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun.
Honeymoon. Now, we were just having a little conversation, and we're like, what was it that made you want to get married during hunting season?
Oh, well, that was the one thing Blake didn't want. So he said this was close enough to right before.
For the local seasons, it's not season yet, but I gave her the tropical Bahamas honeymoon in exchange for anniversary elk trip. So that's the route we're playing.
Worth it.
We'll see how it comes next year, but that's what she's told me so far.
Hey, listen, there's some really good hunting opportunities in Hawaii. You stack her up on the beach and you roll up in the mountains and go hunt.
Yeah, that's
you had already brought that up. Don't worry.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Smart man.
That was plan number one. I was like, we can do Hawaii, and I need 2 days. I need 2 days to go hunt. And we really looked hard into it, but we couldn't get the all inclusive thing. And I tell you that I've never been a big beach guy, but that all inclusive thing on the beach it's pretty nice. I can't lie.
It is.
And where was that? Bahamas?
Bahamas, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a little fair skinned, but I think I managed to get away without too bad of a sunburn, so it worked out.
Yeah, I burned bad, so SPF 30 is my friend out of necessity.
Yeah. What we have, 45 or 50, playing it safe?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll you know what? getting married during hunting season or a Bahama honeymoon in exchange for an anniversary elk hunt. That sounds like a pretty good trade, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Now we just got to get her to keep her word. That's the thing. I've got her. She got her.
Oh, she said it live on a podcast, dude. You're in.
Yeah.
Oh, now you Blake. Now you got 3 million witnesses.
Yeah,
we've got your back, bro.
Oh yeah. No pressure, but everybody in America knows.
Hey, we've only officially agreed on the first year, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Blake's a little bit exaggerating it.
All right. Well, Haley, thanks for being a good sport and jumping on with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, she says first year, but she doesn't know how much fun she's gonna have.
Yeah. Oh, so she's gonna go with you.
Oh yeah. She's gonna be shooter number one. I gotta give her that at least. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Now, when you guys are at the range, who's the better shot?
She is. I don't know. Don't lie.
Yeah, I will say she's probably the better shot at the range. It's when them 3D targets get out there that she gets a little foam buck fever sometimes.
Okay. And that can happen. I'll tell you what, it's amazing. Even on elk, you hear stories and people they're just so big and so intense. And I couldn't count probably on both hands the number of people that I know that have missed elk at 19 yards. And it's like, I don't know how, like if you just draw your bow, turn and look, I mean, it's an elk. The thing is 6 feet long and 4 feet. I don't know but they do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll throw myself under the bus on this one. I went on my first elk trip last year in Colorado, and I went ahead and bought the bear tag as well. And I had the same bear 2 days apart from each other in almost the exact same spot. Big old chocolate. I was sitting on a water hole facing this way, and he walked in behind me like 30 yards, which should be a chip shot. I mean, it's embarrassing saying you're in an archery shop and you messed it up, but I don't know if I was just snake bit or what, but I pulled back and I thought I settled the pin on there, and that arrow went 2 feet in front of him. And then 2 days later, I did the same thing, went 2 feet behind him. I don't know what the heck was happening, but having that big old bear sneak up on you, and it's amazing how quiet they are, walking on rocks. I heard a little chink of rock turned around and he was there, but I don't know what happened, but it definitely happens to the best of us, and I'm definitely not the best of us.
Yeah. Well, I might admit to missing once, but I wouldn't have admitted to missing twice.
I gotta be honest. That's what keeps my customers coming back. I'm honest with them. I'm not gonna lie to their face. So
see,
that's the business model.
That Dylan and I believe in that. That's why we're like fork and horn. Yeah. So,
yes, sir.
But we are trying. So, well, Blake, I'll tell you what.
If it makes you feel any better, Blake, last week I missed one at 13 yards. Well,
see, yeah, even I might have hit him a little bit just based off the angle of the arrow, but I don't know if it would have been a good shot.
No, I missed. I said I passed the first 2 bears I saw last week, and then the third bear was at 13 yards, and I shot. It had to have been just 2 inches max, 2 inches too high, and I had to have clipped the top of that back lung based off the blood we found, but he ran into such thick country we never found him. So you got to call. I mean, it wasn't a good shot. I didn't kill it. So.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Well, Blake, you know the question we're going to ask.
Oh yeah.
Okay, every time when you find yourself up in a tree or out in the woods, what is one non-traditional item that you take with you on every hunt? And this has to be a good one because you are the winner of the contest with this answer.
Do you have one with you? Did you bring one with you on screen?
I do have one with me.
That's what I'm talking about.
I thought long and hard about it. Hell, I even asked my buddies because, like I said in the email, in going to a deer blind here, you're just kind of sitting there, so you don't really need a bunch with you. But I thought back to the few Western hunts I've been on, and everybody's always super excited about it. But we always got to bring, the National Beer of Texas, a Lone Star Light, into camp at least for celebrating afterwards. I can't say we celebrated on that hunt last year, but I know that we brought a case and it didn't come back with us. So It
That was morning. That wasn't.
yeah,
that was morning. But
exactly. It feels like you drink a few more when you're sad about it, but no, those are always with us in camp anytime we go out west. And I think I told you, Dylan, I went up to hunt with Justin in Montana. I guess that was 2020, I believe. And the first time I'd gone up in 2018, we shot a couple bears and brought one case with us, and him and his wife Becca loved them. So it's like, well, next time we go back, we got to bring a few more. So I think we took 3 or 4 cases up there with us. We drank the better part of one over a week, nothing crazy, and left the rest up there. And I talked to Justin, shoot, it was probably a year later. He's like, man, we're finally going through those last couple Lone Stars y'all left up here. I was like, what have you been doing? He said, well, we gave them out to friends to start with because, wanted to show, let people taste them and try them and all that stuff. And then we realized we were down to 1 case. So we've been rationing. We're like 1 a week for each of us, just holding off, making them last as long as we can. I was like, all right, so next time I come up there, that's the reason I'm invited. Y'all ran out of beer is what it is.
Well, maybe you'll have to find your way to convention in Reno and bring a case with you.
We'll bring some with us for sure. I've been working on Haley on that too, trying to get her to come. So we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good. Well, yes, hey, sir. Blake, I'll tell you what, man, we appreciate you. Congratulations on your wedding and everything, and your new bow shop. Thank you very much for being a listener, and really appreciate that. It's been wonderful talking with you. And thanks so much for your support of Pope and Young and what you're doing for archery, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the shout out the other day. Like I said, I don't know if it was your fault, but I'm going to say it was your fault for the little uptick in business. So I really appreciate y'all having me on and everything y'all do for archery and bow hunting as well.
Awesome. Well, hey, good times, man. We'll look forward to next time. And next time we'll try one of them Lone Stars.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll if we don't get back on before then, we'll have to do the anniversary elk trip and give a little update on that one if I can hold her to it.
Sounds good. Well, like I said, now the whole world heard it.
We'll be in Texas. We'll be in Texas on an Axis hunt before that.
Jason. There you go. Yeah, we got to do the Campfire Axis podcast for sure.
We're holding them to that one, Jason. We're going down there.
Y'all come on down.
Good. Have boat will travel.
Yeah, we rolled some pretty good ones over this year, so there's going to be some big ones come next year waiting for y'all.
We don't need big ones. We'll take mediums.
We've got all kinds of Forkadors.
All right. Well, Blake, hey man, thanks again. Great to meet you and visit with you, and best of luck to you this coming fall.
Yes, sir. Y'all as well. Thanks again for having me on.
Thank you.